Morning, everyone. Before I get into my presentation, right, so I just want to quickly give a snapshot on where we started as a quick journey. In 2006, this is a blog post which I posted. You could see that we want to make what seems to be easy, trivial, what seems to be difficult, easy, and what seems to be impossible should be possible. That's the vision of 2006, and we stay true to these words even in 2019. Right, where we want to simplify things, reduce the complexity, make it easy for people to develop applications. Right, as you know, Creator automatically does the more job for you, abstracting the complexity in terms of device, database, code, and design, and we are pretty much covered the entire spectrum of development, from citizen developers, non-programmers, to pro developers. Some of the features which we are releasing today, we have tons of features for pro developers. So these are the building blocks of Zoho Creator for the benefit of people who are new to the Zoho Creator platform. And as you know, the application, what you build in Creator web application, you automatically get the native full-blown mobile application in iOS and Android, right? For example, you build a web application with a page builder, right? And automatically get that in iOS and Android, and you can tweak those pages using the ZML. We have the Zoho markup language, right? So you can tweak it using ZML. And so far, we have 4 million applications created in Zoho Creator. And we have 10,000 paying customers for Zoho Creator. And these are outside Zoho 1. There are customers using Zoho Creator in Zoho 1, but these are outside Zoho 1. And we have customers in 170 countries. And these are some of the customers. Recently, we onboarded the Tesla as a customer. They migrated from very large, and they use it for line of business. And we have some of the very large companies trusting and building complete solution on top of Creator. So where we started at SMBs, we really moved into the mid-market and large enterprises. I would like to take a quick overview on what are the recent updates we made in 2019. It could be small or big, what we have released till date in 2019. So this is a huge one, which our customers have been waiting for a long time. Through subform, you have to insert row through deluge. Take an example of you have an attendance form where you have a pick list, like you can choose a class. Let's say grade 1. Based on what you choose, grade 1, you have to show a subform with all the students in the grade 1 class, let's say 30 people. And for grade 2, you might have 40 people. So you have to dynamically change the subform and based on what input you give it in the form. That feature was not possible before. You can only have a fixed number of rows in a subform. This feature, we released it, and already tons of people have started using it. In 2019, we released it. And this is a sample code, of course, there in the tutorial, where you can take this code and really have that kind of dynamic behavior in your form, where you can create a subform dynamically. Okay, so that's a small update, but huge one, where customers have been waiting for a long time, and we just recently updated in our recent update in 2019. And when it comes to panel builder, we have done this kind of panels. Think about it, very elegant, beautiful looking cards you can create using the new panel builder. And you can do a handcrafting of each and every pixel perfect way of doing the card. You can design now using the new panel builder, and not just web. For the mobile also, you can have the same builder building the panels. And this is how the panel builder looks like, where you can have details of each and every piece in the information in the panel. You can really handcraft it, and every element in the panel you can really do configuration. And with this, you can really accomplish these kind of panels which I showed now. For example, you can see the handcrafting of each and every panels. So that's a panel builder. And another recent update which we made in the recent past is the Zoho OAuth connection. This is something people have been asking for a long time, where they want to connect it to any Zoho application, right? And we already support only auth token, which is an old way of authentication mechanism. And this OAuth is something which predominantly every vendors out there in the market supported. And this is a more secured way of connecting to any third-party application. So we support Zoho OAuth as part of connecting Zoho. That you can get it from the account setup. You can see a place called connections under account setup. In that, you will have something called Zoho OAuth, using which you can connect to any Zoho applications. And this is a small feature, but very nifty feature. We have added gauges in pages. For example, if you want to have progress. Let's say you're building a project management application, you want to see the progress. These kind of small widgets can help you out, and we have provided very fine-grained configuration for these gauges in pages. And we have added Siri shortcuts. For example, this becomes handy when, let's say, often you are a field worker and you are trying to access an application, let's say order management application. Inside order management, you are looking at a dashboard. So it is like 3-level navigation. You have to open Zoho Creator application, then you have to open the application, order management application, then you have to go to the screen. Instead, you can create a shortcut of that and put it in, let's say, you take that shortcut and put it as in the Siri and say like show dashboard and say like, hey Siri, show me the dashboard. And Siri can really open the Creator application, open the order management application, and open the particular screen and open it for you. This is a small thing, but it's really useful for people who are day in, day out living with the Creator application. And we have added email management and DKIM. This is important when you are sending emails to your customers and those mails are marked as spam in the spam folder. This often happens. Customer asking, hey, I've sent an email through the Zoho Creator platform, but that lands up in the spam folder. Today, you can really whitelist your domains using this feature, DKIM and email management. This is what you have to do. Let's say you have 4 domains used in your organization. For example, you're sending from john@zilker.com. You can say zilker.com is a domain which I want to whitelist in Zoho Creator, and Zoho Creator will take care of whatever the recipient, the email system, what they're using. There's a protocol, DKIM protocol. It will avoid stamping it as a spam. So this feature is important in the business context where you're sending very business critical applications and you don't want them to land in spam, right? So we have added this support in the recent update, and we have added tons of new themes. For example, these are a couple of themes. You could see like the pane layout, and then you have the panels coming out, and then you can also have a pop-up from the pane. So there's a tons of themes where people, so for some application usage, you want this kind of themes, where you want everything opened up, and then you want to have easy navigation. So you have a couple of themes we have added recently. Stripe integration, this is a huge one. People have been waiting for Stripe integration because what we supported was only PayPal. When you want to have payment gateway integration in your application, now Zoho Creator supports Stripe. So this is how you configure Stripe. You go to settings, account setup, then you have the add connection, and you set up your Stripe connection, and that's it. You can put that Stripe connection into your application to get payments from the Stripe. And we have supported right to left. May not be very important for the people in this region, but it's important for people in the Middle East where there's been a long waiting things because we want to have Arabic support, right? So we completely support. And this calls for huge technology revamp. It is not so easy as we see it on the surface, but the back end, we have done tons of work in order to really accomplish this kind of very fine-grained RTL support. And this is an important one where you want to provide a better user experience for your customers. For example, you have a page where we say like there's no records, then you will see like there's no records. But you want to have a page where you want to say some custom messages, So this basically like you want to, let's say you're deleting a record, and that record, before deleting, you want to get a confirmation from the user, So that you can use this. For example, are you sure you want to install this operating system? And you can see the dollar value there. So you can dynamically embed your variables inside the confirmation message before even taking any action. That's important because you want to avoid any deletion or any basically damage to any form submission. Before you confirm, you make a confirmation action, and that action is extremely customizable using this feature. And we support currency, multiple currency formats. This has been a long wait feature being asked by our customers, and you could see all the currency format being supported today, right? Earlier it used to be like you don't have any commas and you don't have a currency format. This is a small one, but it's very important from the business context. And we have a Kanban column customization where today the Kanban view, you have all the columns being shown. Now you can say like, okay, these columns alone, I want to see it in the Kanban view. These are the most important columns for me, but I don't want to see anything else. So you can have that kind of fine-grained customization. So these are the recent updates. I just quickly ran through the recent updates, what we've released so far in 2019. Now I'm going to get into what's new, right? There are tons of very interesting features as part of what's new. First one, I've classified them in different buckets because we have tons of features. These are the classification. Let's first get into the app development section. So we have added a layout builder for print. So for example, we have a layout builder for quick view. If you see any quick view in your report, right, today that is, you have to choose a template and you don't have flexibility to change the quick view in a report, right? Now we are introducing a layout builder for the quick view. Now you can really fine-grained way of, you can handcraft each and every piece of information inside the quick view, and you can build a card layout or any other layout, and then you can use the quick view builder, layout builder, to build the way you want to look the UI in your report quick view. So this sample one, you could see like how beautiful this looks, and this is completely done in the quick view layout builder. You could see you can put an icon, you can change the color, font, size, spacing, right? So this you can really elevate your user experience and the UI of your reports. And then the layout builder for print. So this is important because you often want to print your labels, or especially in your supply chain, or if you are in the manufacturing applications, you want to print your layouts. And so there are a lot of printing activity going on where you want to really have control on what sort of information you want to put in the print layout. So today we are launching a full-blown layout builder for printing. And this is a certificate. For example, our internal certificates, what we give after training, is been built by this layout builder. And we generally hit print, and then it gets printed and you get the certificate. Think about it. And all the dynamic values, or dollar values, you can insert from your forms inside the layout, so that you can really build a very custom-made print or certificates for your customers. Right? And this piece of information is actually a microservice. We have really outsourced outside Zoho Creator so that any Zoho products can use it. And recently, Showtime, one of the products, has used this for their internal certification. Zoho Books team, the Zoho Invoice team, is using this for printing the invoice. They don't invest on this layout builder. We provide them, so internal Zoho. Similarly, how DRE, the Deluge, got into other Zoho products. We did Deluge in Zoho Creator. We separated outside as a microservice, and then we gave it to the other Zoho products, and now Deluge is in all other Zoho products. Zoho CRM, Zoho Desk, you name any product, they have Deluge. So similar way, all the feature what we are doing in Creator are really done as a microservice. Because being a technology company, we need to really keep it separate so that it can be reused, repurposed in other Zoho products. That's exactly what we have done in this print layout builder. This is externalized, and you can see that this builder in all other Zoho products. And we have added tons of new templates for print. If you want, we don't want to build it from scratch using a layout builder, you can use our templates. And we have added new templates. You can have invoice templates, certificates, templates, inventories. We have tons of templates added as part of the template creation. So that's about the layout builder, print, email, everything. And this is another small feature, very important feature. People have been asking this for a long time. So where you can set system variables as a default value in your form. Today you cannot do it. Let's say you want to set the current user, login user, email ID inside your record. You have to write it in Deluge. You go to Deluge on success of a form submit. You write a Deluge where you really set the login user, email, or ID, or current date, or current time, the system variables. Now you can do it from the builder itself, where you could see that you take the owner, then you want to assign the Zoho login user ID as the owner of this record, then automatically it fetches the login user ID and puts in. So that's an application development perspective. We have added tons of features. Let me get into the pro development. So because as yourself, you are really become pros. I mean, people who have started from non-programming background, got into Creator, now these guys are becoming more pro people. Right, so they are expecting more pro development. They want to go beyond Deluge, right? We have added tons of features in pro development. So let me take one by one. So we have a full-blown JavaScript environment released in Creator today, right? So how it does? So it is called widgets. You can build HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, package it, right? And then you deploy it in Zoho Creator. The reason why we didn't release JavaScript previously is because we want to give a very secure environment. JavaScript is a very double-edged sword. It can be powerful and it can be really vulnerable, right? You can inject code, one customer can screw up other customer data. So we want to provide a technology where you have a safe environment to run your JavaScript code. That's why it took a long time for us, and we are providing the Zoho widgets inside Zoho Creator. And this is how you do. There's a separate tool you have to download, right? There's a CLI tool, and then you create a project, then you develop the widget, test and package a widget, the JavaScript widget, and then you upload to Zoho Creator. And boom, you get all your JavaScript pages up and running in Zoho Creator. So this is a simple, for example, the visitor management, a person who is really visiting a campus, you want to have a wizard form, right? Using widget, you can accomplish it. You can ask the person name, and then which employee you want to choose. This employee information comes from your Zoho Creator database, and then you submit it, and then this is the form, this dynamic form, wizard-based form. Now it's feasible using the JavaScript widget environment, right? So as a stopgap, we are going to have out-of-the-box wizard forms in Zoho Creator. It's coming. Meanwhile, you can use widgets to create this kind of a wizard-based form for your customers, right? And doesn't stop there. Inside event report, if you click a report summary view, you can bring the JavaScript widget, which is done by you. So that can give a full control on what you want to show inside the record. And you can have these variables, all your Zoho variables, Zoho data, you can really use it in the JavaScript. It's not like a separate this thing. All the variables will be available in JavaScript, and you can use it, and you can really build this kind of a very nice looking record summary using the Zoho Creator new widget platform. So this is how the CLI tool looks like, and I mean, you don't have to scare about it. It's just pretty simple. We have seen like people who don't have fairly, they're not a extreme programmer, but still they're able to, if you know JavaScript, you can have this up and running and going. So you have the download CLI tool and then run it, and this has been documented in our website. You can use it. So all the JavaScript, the widgets would be inside the users, the settings. You could see the widget section. And in that, you could see like all the deployed widgets you created using the CLI tool will be available here. And then those widgets will be available inside the pages, inside the reports. For example, in pages, you will have a widget section where you can create a page by dragging and dropping those widgets. For example, this visitor tracking, visitor management form, which you saw, is a widget that will be available here. You can drag and drop inside your page, and then you can make it up and running. For example, Zoho Creator doesn't support a Gantt chart. Right? So you have a project management application in Zoho Creator, and you want to provide a Gantt chart. You can write a JavaScript. By the way, Google does a lot of open source Gantt chart. You can use the open source Gantt chart, and you can build a widget, but this is a widget, and the data comes from the Zoho Creator, another form. You can create the widget and have it inside your application. So this takes the creator to next level, makes it even more powerful, give the powerful JavaScript tool to you, and you can really play with it and do magic with the JavaScript environment. That's the power to you. Let's get into the cloud functions. So far what we have is the only environment we have is the deluge, right? As your scripting environment. So now we are going to support Java. So now if you are a Java programmer, all the backend, you can either have a deluge for simple tasks. If you want to have a complicated logic or a function, you can write it in Java and deploy it in Creator, right? Again, that calls for a lot of technology work. Because you want to have a container for Java, you need to load it in the class loader. There tons of technology work has gone into this, and it looks trivial because we want to give a very safe environment for our customers. And now, today, we have the server-side Java environment in Zoho Creator, right? And we are going to have Python, Node.js, and JavaScript. So for pro developers, it makes sense to even provide, especially when mid-large companies, they want to have more. Let's say you want to connect to a backend system, right, using Java, and that has only Java SDK, you can use this, So for the client powerness, you have the JavaScript, and for the server side, we have now Java beyond deluge, I can take an example. There was a real requirement where a customer is uploading an image in Zoho Creator, and those image is their asset, their IP, and they want to put a watermark to that image. And you cannot put watermark through deluge. We don't support watermark feature, but Java does. Right? So you can push that image to Java and then use the Java function inside Java, put a watermark and push it back to Creator. So that's like what, 10 lines of code in Java. And today it's not supported in Deluge. So Java could be your fallback option when Deluge stops. So where Deluge stops, your Java option starts. So this is where you really create. So when you create a function, now we have Deluge function, now you can choose a language, Deluge or Java, you say Java, and then you say what are the arguments you want, create a function, and this is a generate watermark function. This is a stub we generate. Inside this, you write a Java logic, and this is a Java logic, right? You get that image, and then you slap the watermark and return that image, right? It's pretty simple for if you're a pro developer in Java, you can get it going. And this is where all the functions will be listed inside workflow. There's a new tab called functions. And functions, you could see like there's a Deluge function, there's a Java function, and you can use which function to be executed. Either when you submit a form, which function you want to invoke. It's a Deluge function or Java function. You can decide which function you want. Right? So that's the power we are giving to the user through the Java language, and we're going to have more language coming together. The next one is the mobile SDK, right? Where we provide option to build mobile application without writing any code using the mobile app creator, but sometimes customers want to handcraft their own mobile application. If you are a Swift developer, if you are a Java developer, right, you expect a mobile SDK, and we provide a full-blown mobile SDK where you can use it in a Swift application. Also, we provide a UI kit, meaning some of the components of the mobile applications we provide it, and you can insert it in your mobile application. For example, the form, you don't have to really create a form in Swift. Rather, it gives as a component as part of the UI kit, and you can reuse it inside your mobile application using the mobile SDK. So this is an example application, mobile application you can create, where you can see that this is handcrafted application using our mobile SDK. And this is another application, real application created by one of our customer to really get some field information. This is an iPad application created using mobile SDK. They go and visit a customer place and collect some information about the customer, about the details in terms of safety and compliance, and they input in the iPad application. This application they handcrafted using the mobile SDK. So that's the mobile SDK part. The next one is the Schema Builder. So what used to be a ER diagram in Creator, now it is becoming a full-blown application, Schema Creator, where you can use the Schema Builder to create application. So you have mobile form builder to create application, and sometimes if you are a user where like a database schema design, you can use a Schema Builder like this. You can create entities, you can really define what are the fields for those entities, and then you can really connect them. If you connect two entities, then it's a lookup. You are looking up some information from this entity to another entity, right? So those, if you can see that there's a number 2 between two entities, which means that it's a bidirectional, right? This refers to the other one refers the original entity, right? So these are some of the samples, and you could see like if I connect one entity to another entity, you get a lookup relation there itself, right? You can say like, okay, listing of devices should be part of the installation form where there will be a pick list to choose a device, right? So this becomes a lookup inside, and you can say like what kind of field you want to for the relationship, whether you want to have a drop down or radio or checkbox or multi-select, you know. So that's a power. You can do the full-blown application design in the application Schema Builder itself. And also it shows all the fields pertaining to an entity. You click an entity, you get all the fields. You can add a field, you can delete a field from here, right? And then also I said like the relationship is shown right away, right here in this builder itself between two entities. So that's a Schema Builder. So the Schema Builder will be evolved into where people are very familiar with database Schema Builder, Schema Design Builders. You can use this without even dragging and dropping in Form Builder, right? Here you can come and quickly create the fields, create the relationship, and then you get the application up and running, right? So this is the contextual message. Small feature, it's very important one. People have been asking this for providing a better user experience for your customer. For example, let's take this page. When you see a record with no records found, we say like no records found, a generic message, right? you can see here, you haven't booked any tables yet. That's a custom message by you, right? Book a table. So this can enhance the user experience of the application. And what we have done is, you can go to the settings, contextual messages, you see customize, then we give all the messages would be in a spreadsheet in an XLS file. You can download that XLS file, you can put your custom messages, and then you upload it back, you get those custom messages. So whatever the machine generated custom message by creator, you can customize it and be part of the application. This is small one, but it can really enhance the experience of your application. So that's a pro development what we have. And then let me get into the application enhancements. So the most awaited field, time field. Because we thought like date and time will solve the problem, but it doesn't. Right? We hear the customer feedback and people have been asking for time field, and we have this time field, much awaited one, and it has a 12-hour, 24-hour format, and you can decide the 12-hour, 24 from the, it takes from the application settings and it puts up here, and you can drag and drop the time field. You can see like with the AM, PM, and you can do scripting using the time field. And this is a 24, 12 hours format, comes from the application settings. So that's a time field, and it is part of the whole deluge and the application building process. And another interesting one, enhanced one, but it's very useful to enhance the user experience, quick search. You can build your own search. So now, in reports, you have to click report search, then you get all the columns, then you have to pick the column, then say search, then get the search results. Now you can build a search, you define, okay, when I hit this, whatever value, based on this, which details you want to invoke and what criteria you want to bring the results. You as a developer can really define the search results. People have been asking this for a long time, and we're glad to introduce this, and this is how the search results will look like. Right? Let's say I'm looking at the properties, and you want to search the properties, this reports, and this criteria, I want to pull the property and show, and you can have this as a search result. And let's say I search for Pleasanton property or Valley property, based on the criteria, it can show up the results. So that's a search feature, and there's another important one, been asked for a long time. You want to create report in the live mode, right? A lot of times, you look at a data, then you want to create dynamically, you want to create a report. And all the time, you don't want to rely on the developer to build the application. You have to go to edit mode and then create another report and share it. Rather, you give the power to the user who have been using the application to create the report by themselves, right? You decide who you want to give that power. And today, we are, for example, in the live mode, you could see like in the reports, you can see a create new option out there. From there, you click it and you can create a new report looking at the data what you have. Right? So you'll be getting the same report built out there. You can define which fields you want for the report, what layout, filters, grouping, sorting, everything you can create, and you can create that dynamic report. And as the administrator, you can decide to whom you want to give this power. So you can see that in the permission set, you could see like create report. I want this person in this profile to allow to create a report. Only that person would be getting create new report in the live mode. So that's new features. This people have been asking for a long time, because each and every time they should not be contacting the developer or administrator to create a new report. Rather, give power to the shared users. They can create the reports by themselves. So that's a create report, and we are adding conversation around a record. Right? Sometimes you want to have, there's a record. Let's say you have a property, and your sales guys want to discuss around that property record. You can do it now. So this is a property application. Against each record, you can see a field where you can really tag people. You do @mention, like a social networking site. You can tag people, and then you can have the full-blown conversation going on. This is a threaded view. So when you open a record, this data is always available for you. So this makes it more interactive, more you can increase the productivity around the discussion around the record. So again, to whom you want to give this power? Not everyone you want to give a way to converse. So you want to say like, okay, this person alone can read the comments, and this person can even write the comments. That's an option in the permissions. for against each module, against each form, you can say that, okay, this details, only this person can read it or write the comments. So that's a power we are giving to the user. So this is a very important feature when you want to have a conversation around a record. We are bringing tons of ZIA features, AI features into Zoho Creator and giving the power to the developers to build ZIA applications, right? Let's see what it is. So I'm sure many of you know what AI works, just to 30 seconds. So AI really looks at the historical data and it really does the model training, and you build an AI model. And then when new data comes in, you use the AI model and then you show a new result. It's like you learn from the past and then you become intelligent, and then when new stuff comes in, you apply that intelligence and then you derive a result, right? So now we are adding tons of AI fields in Zoho Creator. Okay, you could see a separate AI section in the form builder called ZIA fields, right? I'm going to run through quickly on each field's prediction, keyword, sentiment analysis, OCR, and object detection. So this is the AI prediction field, where let's say you have an event, let's say the Zoho event. Based on the past records of event, when I get a profile of one person, the person who is really registered for event, I can predict like what is the likelihood that this person will attend this event. Based on the country, based on the profile, based on the age group, whatever you want. You can decide which criteria you want to put in, and based on that, it can really do the prediction. So this is the prediction field. It has likelihood to participate, and then it says like, okay, this guy will attend, this guy won't attend, right? So based on the past data, the ZIA can really throw some sort of intelligent prediction result for you. And the next one is a keyword extractor. This is really useful when, let's say, a customer is, especially in Zoho Creator, let's say you as a customer giving features for us to build it as part of Zoho Creator product. Let's say you type an email with all the details. I want to extract the keywords you're using, and based on that keyword, I want to give to the product manager team, hey guys, there are 100 people asked for the Schema Builder, right? The keyword extractor can really pull those keywords and really make it intelligent for users to build applications. And sentiment analysis. Today, you can do a sentiment analysis using deluge scripting, but now we are providing an out-of-the-box sentiment analysis as a field. So based on the data, based on the information in the form or the record, it can say that this is positive or negative. And it has an OCR. Now we are introducing OCR field. It can really, you can scan badges, you can scan business cards, and it can really extract the text and put it inside your form. Right? Small feature, but it's important one. You know, for example, let's say labels, you have printed labels, you want to scan it and then push it as OCR. You can do it out of the box today. And you can do object detection. For example, you have Hyther coming with this object is not allowed. So it's a small feature, but we are adding as part of the ZIA. And all the ZIA tasks AI is available in Deluge for you. This is how we can use it. For example, I can say extract OCR. I can say like zoho.ai.recognize text, and I can give a file, right? And then which language you say, and then it can really recognize the text and give it as JSON for you. And you can have this JSON as a map field, and then you can extract all the information. Similarly, you give address as a bunch of text, and it can really extract what is the state, what is the street, right? It can give it to you, you know. So that's, you can use that. These functions are available in Deluge. So AI, all the stuff what we've done is available inside Deluge. And we have done a ZIA import as part of AI. So where we have done data cleansing. For example, you import a data and it has only name, and we can detect what is the first name and last name for you, right? And similarly, you have data where it has duplicate of data, then you have spell errors. As part of data cleansing, ZIA does the data cleansing for you inside the spreadsheet. So that's the ZIA part. Let's get into the mobile part. So we have tons of feature in mobile. This is a PWA feature. We have released it. So what is PWA is, let's say we have an application where you go to creator.zoho.com in your mobile application, and then you say add it to home screen. Underneath you can say like add it to home screen, and you add it to home screen, and you press add button, and then this becomes as an application, PWA application. Right? So without going to App Store, distributing in as a native application, and create a progressive web application. And this is what a lot of enterprises wants mid-market, because app distribution is always a problem. And not just Zoho Creator application. An application inside Zoho Creator, let's say you have built an expense application inside Zoho Creator, and you can say like add to home screen, and that application, you can also change the icon of that application, right? Your expense application, and this will be a separate app in your iPhone. So this is a PWA application. Without even going to App Store or distributing to MDM, you can create a PWA application, and this is available now. And we have done tons of iPad UI revamp. We have made tons of features in iPad. It has multi-column support in iPad, and then you have basically like the list view in iPad. So earlier iPad was like behaving like an iPhone, right? Now we bought a lot of desktop web features into iPad, and it has a dark mode support. So, and you can have multiple window in iPad. For example, you can have one window for forms and then submit it. Then you can say like automatically that data is really refreshed in the second window. iPad has the multi-window support. We are leveraging that. And we also support the pencil, Apple Pencil, where you can scribble, doodle it, right? So for your form, let's say you have a field where you want to have an image field, you can use a pencil and do it. And the next one is a huge one, the multi-deployment support we are adding in Zoho Creator. Especially when mid-size and large customers, they want to have different deployment options. They don't want to go to Zoho Cloud alone. They want to run the application behind the firewall, on-premise. They want to host in AWS or Azure, right? Today, we are providing that options to our customers. Especially important for mid-market and large customers, where you can now run Creator, the full builder and the application, right? Full builder and the live application behind your firewall in your server, right? We package a database along with this Postgres database. You can plug into your Oracle database or MS SQL database, whatever you want. But today we support the Postgres database, and you can run it inside your premise. And this is how it works. On premise, you can see like you can have your own database. It has identity and access management, or you can connect to your Active Directory also in your organization without using our IAM. And on the top of this, on-premise supports web, mobile. So running behind the on-premise, because the Zoho Creator mobile application connects to the Zoho Creator cloud. But on-premise, you want to connect to your server, right? We also support that. And this is how you deploy it, because on-premise, it should be installation. You download the exe and zip file and install it. This is especially important for mid and large companies. And this is how the on-premise configuration, you can configure proxy server, you can configure SAML. SAML is for when you want to connect it to the AD, Active Directory, Microsoft Active Directory, you can use SAML. And then you have the mail server settings, where you want to use your mail server to send emails, because no more it is create a cloud, So you have the mail server settings out here. And on-premise applications, you have also mobile applications, and it is already available in App Store and Play Store, where you download the application. You could see that enter domain URL to proceed. It is your URL, your server URL running on behind the firewall. You give that URL, then you log in, and you get all your on-premise application in that mobile app. So it supports full-blown web, mobile, and iPad application for your on-premise. So, and you can take that on-premise application and you can host it in Azure or AWS. Sometimes you want to have your way of hosting it, and we provide that options as well. Thank you.